Jenny Blue, Town Quay for Hive.
Jenny Blue VTS, that's all we see, sir, thank you.
Yes, Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth VTS, good evening.
VTS Queen Elizabeth, yeah, just amendment. The passenger figure is now 1119, and we should be away in the next 5-10 minutes.
Queen Elizabeth VTS, that's all copied, 1119 for passenger figures, and away in the next 5-10 minutes. The Ark Independence just shortly breaking away from the Fibre outward bound.
That's all copied, and the QM, she's got a slight delay as well, I believe.
That's correct, yeah, she's got a slight delay still working at this time.
Copy, thank you.
Ahoy, shipmates. Oh, hang on. Ahoy, yeah, this is working. Yep, ahoy, shipmates. We're here to see the Queen Mary 2, the Queen Elizabeth, and the Disney Magic. Oh, and the
Titus BTS, good evening.
And the sharp-eyed viewers among you would notice that is neither of those three ships.
Titus BTS, if you could give Southampton pilot to call, sir. Southampton pilot to channel 09, over.
It is the Morella Explorer. Due to leave at 5 o'clock, ended up leaving a little bit late.
Yes, Northern General, hook out to the main channel.
Northern General VTS, that's all received, thank you. No reported inbound traffic.
Roger that, thank you.
She was due to leave at 5 o'clock, was a little tardy due to the Northern General you just heard radio in. And you could just see coming on the screen now. So that's the hook buoy that she's now turning into the main channel. Let me scoot the camera across a bit. There we go. So the Northern General delayed Morella Explorer's departure. The Queen Mary 2's departure is delayed. The Queen Elizabeth's departure is delayed, although I think it's only a matter of 5 to 10 minutes on both of those. And the Disney Magic, I think, is leaving on time. Queen Mary 2 is heading up that way towards the HMM Mia. And then she'll swing round and head towards us. And then as the Queen Mary 2 is doing that, the Disney Magic will depart. I hope that's all clear. And there's the Queen Elizabeth. Let's have a quick look. Still lots of lines attached. Now in front of us, oh, the lines are going. What good timing that was. It's almost like I knew. If I find my little list here, I'll get some passenger numbers. I'm sure you're all curious to know. There is the Queen Elizabeth at the Ocean Terminal. Oh, lots of shipmates in this evening. Ahoy there, tips for travellers. Says he's staying at the hotel in port before joining Celebrity tomorrow. He's going to pop down to Mayflower Park, and that's over here. He's going to go pop down to Mayflower Park and do a bit of ship spotting while listening to the stream. The other vessel that's just about to leave is
BTS Disney Magic, good evening.
Disney Magic VTS, good evening.
VTS Disney Magic, Starboard side 2 on 102, ready to go. Outbound to the east, draft 8.1. Cruising then back to Southampton. Figures 1586 passengers, 902 crew, and no defects.
Disney Magic VTS, that's all we see, sir, thank you. And confirm 1586 passengers, 902 crew. The Queen Elizabeth just letting go now from a 46 outward bound, and a slight delay on the Queen Mary at the moment.
Okay, that's understood.
It's all busy here in the port of Southampton.
Navigator Yowza VTS, good evening.
And we have the Ark Independence also leaving. Visibility, as we can see, the Isle of Wight there is excellent again this evening.
Disney Navigator Yowza VTS, that's all copied, and position looks good, sir, and clear to proceed. If you can give me a call back, once you're all brought up, over.
Looks to me
That's the VTS, the Red Eagle, Northwest Netley, permissions continue at speed, please.
Red Eagle VTS, that's all received. Just be aware, sir, the Queen Elizabeth just getting underway now from 46 outward bound, and the Ark Independent away from 35 outward bound.
Yep, that's all received. So just get a tyre in for Dockhead, please.
Currently at Dockhead, sir, 2.33, over.
233, thanks, sir.
It's one of those busy evenings here in the port of Southampton. Now, 5 cruise ships departing, not all at the same time. If this was the typical summer season, we'd certainly have a few more ships. But due to the pandemic and such like, not quite as busy. Looks like the last line is finally going on the Queen Elizabeth. It starts to move backwards slightly. The cruise ship, the container ship, is just reaching the Cowshot Spit at the moment, so an awful lot of traffic going on. Let's go back to the Queen Elizabeth. There are passengers on board the Queen Elizabeth. She was waiting for 2 to arrive. Not sure I'd want to be responsible for holding up a cruise ship. I guess it depends on where you're travelling from, perhaps. Okay, let's have a look and see who's in the chat. Oh yes, tips for travellers. He's here. I'm going to turn off the radio now. I think we know what's going on. There are ships moving. Don't need to wait. So that's the radio off. Oh, there, TC. He's looking forward to this. He watched them all come in this morning. The lighting was beautiful and calm. Yes, I agree. I was up early this morning, and it was rather nice this morning. Let's have a look. Is all the lines clear on the Queen Elizabeth? Yep, looks like it. She started to head forward now. You'll notice just that's typically what they do. They sort of head backwards slightly, opposite direction, get away from the dock, and then once you've got a bit of space, start to motor forward. This is in front of us, the yellow structure on the right-hand side of the screen, and the cranes and the containers. It's a offshore drilling ship. And I'm not entirely sure what it's doing. It looks like it's drilling here in the port of Southampton. Maybe there's black gold in the port. Not the best of weathers for a departure from the port of Southampton, unfortunately. I mean, it could be a lot worse, but I think you'd have to be slightly careful drinking your rum-based cocktails outside. With a gentle breeze, and it's definitely on the cooler side. Certainly not the Caribbean. Ahoy there, David Artingstall. I am well, thank you for asking. And ahoy there, Helen Jones. And ahoy there, Laser Claw. I see one of our red funnel ferries going past there on the right-hand side. And ahoy there, Leslie Donaldson, asking if that was the Morella Explorer from earlier. Yes, it was indeed the Morella Explorer. QE, looks like QE starting to get some movement going. Yes, definitely look at that. Oh, it's fascinating, this drilling rig. I know it might not be interesting to a lot of you, but it's tickling my fancy for sure. There are over 1,000 passengers on the Morella Explorer. And there are quite a few passengers on the Queen Elizabeth as well. Not a very technical answer for you, is it? What were the passengers? I think it was 1,100. Queen Elizabeth. Good look. 1119 on the Queen Elizabeth. No passengers on the Queen Mary 2. That's coming up. And Disney Magic's got 1,500 passengers on board, which is what she's been sailing with for the last couple of, well, last 3 or 4 times. She's been out of port, about the same sort of numbers every time. Yes, it looks to me like those passengers have got an extra cardigan on or a little jumper. Not quite the weather we have had. Typical though for August here at the Port of Southampton. One of the better months weather-wise. Trouble with British weather, our average rainfall is pretty much the same all year round. We don't get proper sunny seasons. It's looking quite busy in this bit of the Port of Southampton with the Geoquip ship and the Sky Princess at the just behind, facing towards us. She looks like she's being bunkered at the moment. A superbly busy day in the Port of Southampton. Ahoy there, James Boyle. And ahoy there, Gina Bunny. And ahoy, Roberts. And ahoy, Ryan Lamb from Mayflower Park. Well, we'll probably see you in a bit when we watch the Disney Magic go out. Ahoy there, Cloud Pyro. And ahoy there, John Whittaker. We had a great day down in Southampton on Wednesday. And ahoy there, Vanessa Wells. It says it's exciting time seeing these cruise ships going out. It is exciting. I personally do like it when they arrange for departures to all be at the same time. It makes my life much easier. But then they promptly go ahead and get delayed. It's the problem with ships. They're not quite as reliable as aircraft. Well, I'm saying that, probably very similar. There's definitely a few people on their balconies. Can't really see too much past the Geoquip ship there, can we? That's drilling. With 1,152 passengers on board the Queen Elizabeth, it's not quite the full capacity. I don't think any of the cruise ships are running at full capacity at the moment. She's running at just under half capacity. She's off for a little cruise around I would imagine somewhere off Cornwall, and then back to the Port of Southampton. Looks like there's a busy little bar here up on the stern of the Queen Elizabeth. No jumping or diving. You can see the old face mask being worn. I'm not sure what the protocol is on board the Queen Elizabeth, but disco dancing going on. Some fine revelling for 6 o'clock in the evening. Did notice there was a couple of shipmates who said they'll be out on some cruises later. And we could just get a view here, a slightly better view perhaps of the Sky Princess and the Queen Elizabeth. As you can see, a lot of grey clouds, unfortunately, in port at the moment. Ahoy there, Lewis Edlin. And ahoy there, Ken Finch. And ahoy there, Alan Hussey from Swindon. Ahoy there, Jack Rolls, and ahoy there, Hayley Scott. Steve Skip says, are we all shipshape and Bristol fashion? I believe we are, shipmates. All functions go on the Solent Ships YouTube channel at the moment. Increasingly, I seem to be running into problems with YouTube lately. They keep turning off my streams. No apparent reason. Call the technical support. They don't know what I'm talking about. They're suggesting that I'm stopping them myself. I had some very strong suggestions of my own, but I kept them to myself. You can see the design here of the Queen Elizabeth, slightly boxier than the Queen Mary II, for instance. The stern here, a number of cabins were added in a refit some number of years ago. There was more of a slope, more like the Queen Mary II, and they just added on a few more cabins. I can understand the logic for it. Increased capacity of the ship, but it does make it, in my opinion, less attractive. Ahoy there, Ben Songhurst. What boat is that? I'm guessing that's the Queen Elizabeth you're talking about. I'm pretty savvy when it comes to these things. I've learnt my lesson. Just read the name on the back. Don't try and guess. Ahoy there, Annie Rolled. Well, I hope you caught that. There's a little bit of honking there. It's quite quiet, but I did hear it from my headphones. So let's hope you heard it as well. Oh, there, Ali Clark from yourself and husband side. Hope you've had a good week. I've had a good week, shipmate. Indeed, I have. Actually, been quite busy this week. Not that I'm not normally busy, but this week particularly busy. Have a new series in the pipework, and we've started filming. Not my usual fare of sitting in my cabin, broadcasting some live streaming, or nipping out with a drone and droning something exciting coming. No, this is completely different. It's been, if I say this politely, slightly challenging. But hopefully it'll make for an interesting series. Ahoy there, G8. Oh, and ahoy there, Captain Caps. And ahoy there, fake name blogger. Ahoy there, Camforce 3 from Ontario in Canada, where he says it's warm and humid. It's a touch humid here in the Port of Southampton, and it's definitely not warm. Get another shot here of the Sky Princess and the Queen Elizabeth. Ahoy, shipmate Glenn Kay. Welcome aboard and thank you for joining the crew. If you would like to subscribe, please do. It doesn't cost anything. All you can do is click on a little button somewhere that says subscribe, or if you're watching on your smart TV, press the up arrow, navigate around for a bit, find something that says subscribe and click on that. Doesn't cost anything. Helps us out massively. Expands the reach of the channel. Little example here of the tortoise and the hare. We have the Queen Elizabeth probably doing around 6 knots. The Red Jet picking up somewhere between 25 and 27 knots. There we go. Red Jet will be off to the Isle of Wight. Passenger only service, the Red Jet, although you can take bicycles on Red Jet 7, although now I say that, I think they may have converted the bicycle storage into toilets, I seem to have read. So, could be different. So, rather conveniently, just as we have the Queen Elizabeth slipping past Dockhead, bringing up the speed past the Sky Princess, as if by magic, we have Disney Magic just coming on to Boxcam. Look at that. It's almost like I've planned these things, isn't it? Disney Magic has just over 1,500 passengers, so not as busy as she could be. I think she's got capacity for some region of 2,700. Almost full complement of crew. And I'm going to make sure I put the microphone on for the classic Disney horn, which is being activated earlier and earlier. It was after she span, and then it started being while she was still spinning, and now it's like halfway through the spin. So do excuse me if you hear a lot of traffic noise, but I know how the audience really wants to hear the Disney Magic's horn, so I can't not have that. So I did hear there was a shipmate down in Mayflower Park. I wonder if he's actually got out of his car or if he's still down there watching. The Disney Magic seems to be one of the few vessels that actually draws in a big crowd. There we go. Here's the crowd of people down at the end of Mayflower Park, ready to watch Disney Magic. Disney Magic will reverse towards us and spin round and then head on out. And probably at the same time, the Queen Mary 2 will be departing and heading towards the upper swing ground where the HMM container ship is. Ahoy there, Lee Cottonell. Welcome aboard, shipmate. Many thanks for joining the crew. If you're interested in a poster of the Disney Magic, we do have one in the ship store now. The ship store is slowly being populated with merchandise. It's taken a time to get the ship stores working, mainly because the supplier Teespring said it was working and then YouTube said it was working, but the two weren't communicating. Just technical problems galore at the moment. Good old Goofy still touching up the logo on the Disney Magic there. Interesting to see the marks there on the hull for the fabrication of that steelwork to get that bend. Certainly does have a real duck's tail. I almost used the incorrect term for that. The duck's tail on the stern of the Disney. That's supposed to aid fuel economy by smoothing out the wash behind the ships. Don't know how effective it is, but I think it looks quite attractive. The Disney Magic does have I think, a fairly fairly good look and somewhat resembles the Queen Mary 2, being sort of long and sort of elegant, as opposed to some of the other ships, which are a little blockier. Also, there'll be some mugs available soon on the Ship Stalls website. Just getting suppliers in place. Had some samples through. They look really good. In fact, using one right at this moment. Fundamental problem with all cruise ships I've noticed at the moment. A failure to show big ships Solent Ships TV on the big screen there. Surely it's an opportunity to bring your people on board the ship to enjoy a view of the ship from port. I'm tempted to put the radio back on to see when the Queen Mary 2 will be leaving. But I'll have to wait. I will put the microphone on though. Like I say, she's starting to honk her tune earlier. I heard a new shipmate joined then. Sorry, I didn't see. I was busy steering the camera. But welcome aboard, new shipmate, whoever you are. Ahoy there, Twin Peace 16. Welcome aboard, shipmate. Hope I didn't completely mispronounce your name. I'm sure I did. Not as many people on the decks of the Disney Magic compared to what it used to be. The last couple of sailings have been a bit warmer. Taking a strategic movement, probably inside with the buffet. Ahoy there, Mark Cartle from a cloudy shore on sea. He's just a few miles to the east of Southampton, so I can imagine his weather's not too different. Ahoy there, G-boats. Let's see Disney Magic. Ah, there we go. I can provide. Subtle Disney logo there on the side of the funnels. Oh, I can see some wavers. Lovely views here of the Disney profile. Also unusually, the Disney Magic has yellow lifeboats. A special dispensation and more waivers. Yeah, apparently the special dispensation for yellow lifeboats, normally they are orange in colour. Disney Magic is just off down to the coast for a little while, and she'll be coming back into the port of Southampton. If you are interested in coming down to the ports and watching the ships, Mayflower Park is an ideal location to go shipspotting. And the VTS website is a marvellous website for finding out when the ships are coming or going. Essentially, they arrive pretty early in the morning, from sort of 5 and 6 o'clock. They leave around about 6 o'clock in the evening. Good time window for the ship's wedding. As you can see here in Mayflower Park, you can get quite close to the ships, and it just amazes me how fast these ships just spin round. Another great design feature of the Disney Magic, I think, is the attention to detail. Even the anchors are yellow. I believe that's a Mickey Mouse flag right at the very bow there. I reckon the hooting should come any moment. And when she hoots, when she straightens up, let's say recently, it's been coming earlier and earlier. Yeah, I would say that was probably earlier than last time. Good to hear. Disney Magic can only play the one tune. Apparently, I think that's what we've all worked out. Some of the other Disney ships can play a medley of anywhere about 7 tunes, I think. Well, there, Reese Morgan says he was down in Poole the other day. Saw some ships in Southampton. Oh, there, P. Birch. Lots tonight, even more tomorrow. Absolutely, the season has picked up. I'm a little tardy in the chat here. Oh, there, Michelle DF, who says that she sees Disney Magic will be leaving on short cruises from Tilbury Docks in September. Doesn't sound like the most glamorous locations, does it really, Tilbury Docks? I think I've just spotted the horns. You can just see them on the funnel here on the right hand side. They are the horns. Yeah. It looks like that's the right number of horns to play the tune. Music's not my strong point. Oh, ahoy there, Shipmate Jack Rolls. Many thanks for your kind donation. That's most generous of you. Thank you very much. Oh, ahoy there, GG or G-Jin Marie. G-Jin Marie. I like the sound of that. Asking what the little doors are for on the front of the ship. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's go down and have a look at the little doors, shall we? Give a little bit of an explanation. I think she's talking about these little doors here. These ones here. These little doors here. There's one on either side of the ship. That's where shipmates stand out on those doors. I think you see a shipmate there just coming out. And it enables them to make sure that all the lines are being pulled in correctly or being tied up when the ship's berthing or leaving the port. That gives access to the winch deck where all the lines come into port and come into the ship from the dock and vice versa. All there, Helen Jones. Disney Magic has a new sister ship, the Disney Wish. Oh, ahoy there, Kenneth Grinot, with some very appropriate information. She sounds a horn when the bow faces the ice cream van. That could be the way it works. I wouldn't be surprised. It's very popular is the Scooby's ice creams. I haven't heard if Queen... Oh, yep, Queen Mary 2 is on the move. Okay, so this is going to get interesting now. So if I probably go and have a quick look. Ahoy there, Rebecca Melbourne. Many thanks for your kind donation. All donations received to the channel are returned into new equipment and new programming and new things. So, ahoy there, Anthony Challenger. Many thanks for your donation as well. Like I say, new equipment, more cameras, and further programming. We've just started filming our new series. I'll put a trailer out soon. We've had a successful day this morning. And there's Queen Mary 2. Just heading up towards the upper swing ground. So the red funnel ferry terminal's very busy at the moment. Oh, ahoy there, Steve Bennett. We're around at Hythe, watching with our grandchildren, Sophia, Isabel, and Arthur. Well done. That's another great location for a bit of ship spotting. Oiler Elizabeth Warren says that Disney Magic leaving again, 2- and 3-day cruises with a 4-day one thrown here and there. Yep, that's about it. How old is Disney Magic? Disney Magic's older than you would think. That's what I've noticed. I didn't think she was that old, but I think she's kept in very good shape. 2006 or something, I think like that. I'm sure someone will know before I can check my answer. I always have to be careful and check my answers because everyone here is so well informed. 1998 was the maiden voyage, so over 20 years old, which I think is a testament to the design and maintenance of the ship. Oh, ahoy there, Robin Courage. Many thanks for your kind donation, shipmate. Great shot, captains, from Pool Watcher Robin. Oh, if you're down in Poole, you probably don't get to see quite so many cruise ships as we do here in Port Southampton, although in the pandemic times things have been a little different, haven't they? Although we do get some super yachts down in Poole. L&S is my particular favourite. I'm not sure if she's still in port at the moment, but I think she's my favourite super yacht that I've seen locally. Oh, ahoy there, Rob Rice. Many thanks for your kind donation. Greatly appreciated. Oh, we get a great view here of the stern. You can see that little section, the duck's tail, has another name that my father used to say for haircuts on the back of your head. It was called a DA, a duck's something else. I'll leave the something else to your imagination. So that's Disney Magic, just gone past Town Quay. While she's going past Town Quay, why don't we switch back and have a look at Queen Mary 2. I don't even know she's in the distance, but we can't really see Disney Magic behind Town Quay, so we'll switch over to Queen Mary 2. It's just non-stop action here, isn't it? If you're interested, we also have the Queen Elizabeth just going past the Esso terminal and the Ark Independence, and probably the Marella Explorers around about somewhere if I could work out where she was. I need a couple more hands and a few more eyes to operate all this equipment, and a few more monitors. It is quite the challenge. I need to come up with a better way of doing it, I think. Yep, she's Queen Mary 2 will go up to the upper screen and swing around, then she'll come past us. So we'll get some excellent views of the Queen Mary 2. Maybe I'll just cut back to the Disney Magic as she just comes out from Hightown Keep here. Jack Roll says Golden Horizon is gorgeous. Saw her a few times now. Yes, Golden Horizon. I've droned Golden Horizon. As on my drone, if you check on my channel, there's a drone video of Golden Horizon. Absolutely marvellous ship. I would certainly be my top pick, I think, at the moment for a ship to travel on. Oh, there, Rich Melbourne. Many thanks for your donation, and a shout out to Patty, who's watching. Well, ahoy there, Patty. Ahoy there, Ben Keane. Many thanks for your kind donation. Says he loves cruising, and particularly the Disney Magic. We've almost got Disney Magic and Queen Mary 2 looking exactly the same. Do you see what I mean about this? Look at the bow. Look at the bows of those two ships. Almost, I can flick between them, and you almost can't tell which one's which, can you? No, I won't do that anymore. But no, it's oh, there's shipmate Steve Winstanley. Many thanks for your kind donation. But you can see why I think there is some similarity between them, can't you? How big is the container ship? Interesting question there from Nigel. I would imagine that she's somewhere in the region of 400 meters, I would say, but probably 366 meters long, and a TEU of 16,000 approximately. So, in the world of container ships, sort of medium size. See the old funnel vision on Disney Magic showing, I don't know what it's showing today actually. The other day it was showing a cartoon called Frozen. Only because someone in the chat told me what it was, I had no idea. The container ship at 366 meters long will in fact be longer than Queen Mary 2. But the biggest container ships are 400 meters long. And they frankly make Queen Mary 2 look quite small, even though Queen Mary 2 is a massive cruise ship. Ahoy there, Vicky Lamp. I love your channel. You all seem to have better cameras than I have here in the USA watching Miami Sport. Well, thank you, shipmate. I have been complimented on my cameras many times before. I think they are some of the best on the internet from what I've been told. I can't say I've seen too many better. There's one in Japan that's actually quite good. But yes, the majority of cameras aren't as good. So there goes Disney Magic past Dockhead. So while she's doing that, we can go back to Queen Mary 2. We'll keep an eye on Disney Magic, but she's just going past the Sky Princess at the moment. Right, so have a quick look at the Sky Princess as well, I guess. So that's the... wrong camera. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. There's the Sky Princess and the Disney Magic. Sky Princess with the conventional orange lifeboats, and Disney Magic with their ones. Oh, ahoy, shipmate Rob Milton. Many, many thanks for your kind donation. Looks to me like Queen Mary 2 is about halfway. Looks like she's almost stationary, doesn't it? There are a couple of people down in Mayflower Park. I've seen in the chat saying they're down there. If you're down in Mayflower Park, this is the sort of view you'd be getting. As you can see, it's a pretty decent view. You get to see the ships spin round and come past you, and they do come past you pretty close. Excellent parking facilities, 2 vendors of ice cream in the park. So I don't think you could ask for much more than that. Ahoy there, Helen Jones. She would like it if the screens played the Solent Ships channel. Yep, I totally agree with their shipmate. Just waiting for the day. Just waiting for the day. Ahoy there, Elizabeth Warren says she once spent an afternoon in a pub in Harwich watching the ships coming out of Felixstowe. Ahoy there, Daniel San. Many thanks for your kind donation. One of our regular shipmates is Daniel San. Ahoy there, Mark Vidotto. Can you give a shout out to my wife Becky? We're on the Regal tomorrow. Oh, well, ahoy there, Becky, and I hope you have a good sail, good cruise on the Regal tomorrow. Is that what you said? I'm sorry, I'm looking somewhere else. Yes, Regal tomorrow. In fact, we even got the crane moving at the same speed as the ship. How good's that? Ahoy there, Jack Rolls says that Queen Mary 2 is just massive. Last year I saw her from the snapper boats in Weymouth. Well, that would certainly be daunting if you're out on a small boat and Queen Mary 2 goes past, or you go past Queen Mary 2. It certainly puts the sense of size into perspective. Yeah, Queen Mary 2 is definitely one of the larger ones. With their Mason Cornock says most cruise ships' flags are Bahamas. A lot of them are the Bahamas. Or Hamilton in Bermuda. Some of them are, in fact, Southampton. But yes, most of them are flagged overseas. Oh, ahoy there. Nigel Warren asks, when is QM2's first cruise with passengers? I don't know for sure, but I seem to remember reading it was somewhere in September. I think the Cunard line were worried that if they started cruising and then restrictions came back in again, they would have to stop. So I think they've decided to delay. I'm sure someone could correct me on the exact time, but I think it was somewhere in September. Oh, someone says November. Okay, it is a while. I knew that much. Maybe they keep moving it. Ahoy there, High Tower 84. Oh, ahoy there, Kay. Good safe. Many thanks for your kind donation. Someone says, does the Queen Mary 2 leave from the berth that the Titanic used? And, High Tower 85 also loves the channel. Thanks, shipmate. No, not this time. No, Queen Mary 2 does normally berth at the Ocean Terminal. The Ocean Terminal is the home normally to the Queen Mary 2, and that is in fact over here. So we'll look over here quickly. That's the Ocean Terminal, and that is where Titanic left from, that long grey building that normally ships dock at. Ahoy, Julie Wallace says she's been on a few. If COVID allows, she's going to go on the Queen Mary 2 in December. Well, from what I hear, that travelling on ships is getting easier. I think you all have to be. It depends on you have to look at the rules and regulations for each individual line. Most of them, I think, require everyone to be vaccinated. Some are doing testing before you get on. A combination of all those sorts of things. Disney Magic now is past the dockhead on her way down Southampton water. And Queen Mary 2 is looking directly at us. The black lines that you can see on either side, there are 3 black lines on either side, are supposed to ape hands coming around the front of the ship and making it feel safe and secure. Ahoy there, Typha 1. Says that Queen Mary 2's first pandemic cruise passengers is November. His father and fiancée will be on it, hope, on board. Oh, there we go then. So November appears to be the first queue. It must have pushed back since the last time I looked. I knew a shipmate would know. Jack Rolls would like to see what the new Cunard ship is going to look like. I don't like to look too much. When there's a new ship coming out, I don't like to look too much at all the pictures. I'm quite happy to wait until they arrive the first time in port. It's a bit of a surprise for myself. Disney Magic now is just starting her departure from port down Southampton water. As you can see, she's picked up a little bit of speed there, probably somewhere in the region of 12 knots, 12 to 15 knots, and then she'll head down to Cashot Spit, go around Cashot Spit, head out towards Bramble Bank. Ahoy, shipmate, eccentric gamer. Many thanks for your kind donation there, shipmate. It says he stumbled. Oh, I missed that message. There was some sort of message there, wasn't there? Oh, here it is. Stumbled across your channel last night. Thanks for providing these fantastic views. Excellent. Well, thank you for your kind donation. And thank you, of course, thank you everyone for subscribing, because the more people subscribe, the more it spreads the word. Queen Mary 2 is just going to slip off. Unfortunately, the camera can't quite go right enough. So maybe I'll just go back to a little bit of Disney Magic while she's in the gap where the Empress dock is. Oh, boy, there, Kevin Davis with some interesting information. Says that Queen Mary 2 is supposed to be going to Hamburg next week for a 3-week refit before crossing again in November. Aha. It would make sense. I did hear, reading one of the blogs from one of the cruise ship captains from one of the older ships, and said the problem with no passengers on board is the maintenance actually becomes more. Not only have you got to keep the ship obviously clean and make sure it's ship shape, things happen which you never expected to happen. He cites an example of mushrooms growing on the carpet in the dining room. Normally, because of the constant amount of traffic of people's feet and the vacuuming, that sort of thing doesn't get a chance to grow. Well, because there's obviously no passengers in the dining area, the mushrooms are allowed to flourish. So that's required extra cleaning and interesting new methods. I also heard from one of the operators that they've just been painting just the one side of the ship as well. Or Yvonne Taylor. Many thanks for your kind donation. It's very kind indeed. Oh, ahoy there, Oz Scale Modelling. It says, many thanks for the stream of Queen Mary 2. It's a great reference for a model I'm about to start building. Ah, excellent. I'm glad I could help you there. If you need some more reference material, check out my drone videos. Ahoy there, Mimi Whitney. Many thanks for subscribing, shipmate. It's always a good way to keep in touch with the channel and when the streams start and stop. If you subscribe to that notification bell, because sometimes we start early, sometimes we start late. Ships movements are a bit of a mystery sometimes. Like I was saying, there are a number of videos of the Queen Mary 2 drone videos. They might help you with your scale modelling. They fly around the Queen Mary 2, so you'll get an idea of her from all sorts of views and angles. I suggest you have a look at those as well. Queen Mary 2 coming slightly closer to Mayflower Park. Ahoy Elizabeth Warren asks, do you know how many pilot boats it takes to get Disney Magic out of Southampton? Only one, just one pilot. They'll be picked up somewhere near the Nab anchorage. Ahoy there, Ben J. Says he loves the channel. Was there any chance of turning down the klaxon sounds and the subscribe? Yes, I really need to look into that. Not while I can't attend to it while I'm streaming. I should probably turn it down afterwards. It's a separate bit of software. But I probably will turn it down. I don't normally have quite so many donations, so it doesn't normally go off quite so often, if I'm brutally honest there. But there's been a lot of generosity amongst the shipmates this evening, which is wonderful. Certainly a majestic bow there on the Queen Mary 2. You can just about see the spare propeller blades up on the foredeck there. Jack Rolls is suggesting we get a horn blast. Well, we might have got a horn blast if the Queen Mary 2 went past the Queen Elizabeth. The Cunard ships do tend to communicate with each other, or ships from the sister ships, shall I put it. But because Queen Elizabeth's already left, I don't think there'll be any exchange of horns or honking, unfortunately. Elizabeth Warren was saying here, I think that her cousin or something used to be a pilot for a smaller port. I'm hoping to get out onto a pilot boat one day. I'm making inquiries and it'll be quite enjoyable to see what goes on being a pilot. It does look to me to be, frankly, a little bit of a dangerous job. Because as a pilot, you go out on a very small pilot launch, and you go up next to a ship that's potentially moving or at anchor, and then you climb a ladder that's hanging down the side of the ship and get onto the ship. And there have been a number of instances where pilots are being killed because they fall between the ship and the pilot boat and get squashed. Not very pleasant. Didn't realise it was such a dangerous job, but it does look a little terrifying. Hopefully, if I get a chance to go out, it'll be on a calm day. Ahoy there, Mark Vidotto. He says, what ships will I be covering tomorrow? Okay, good question. Let's have a look. I'm guessing I'll probably cover the ones that are clumped together, if I'm honest. I'll have a look at my schedule and I will check again in the morning. Probably going to be the Celebrity Silhouette, and the MSC Virtuosa, and possibly the Regal Princess. But I think the Iona is a little bit late at 9 o'clock. It's also dark. Not desperately helpful. The cameras are really good, but they're not so good in dark. So I try not to do too many dark ones. So that's probably the ones I should be covering. No passengers here on the Queen Mary 2. So it does look like she could do with a bit of a refit. Got a few rust stains all over the place. Looks like we've just got the sun peeking through this evening as well. The other couple of days ago, we had the Queen Mary 2 leaving and the Disney Magic, and they were delayed. Or the Queen Mary 2 was delayed. So I left the stream going, and when I came back later, it was quite dark, and we had a beautiful sunset that Queen Mary 2 left in. It looked really amazing. And then as she came round to the other side of port, we had a very bright moon. So I was able to catch some of the moon. In fact, I even zoomed into the moon on the camera. We played a little bit of music because it was quite late in the evening. It was a very different experience. I had a lot of positive feedback from shipmates about that one. So I may do that again if it's a particularly long day. Like Eccentric Gamer, ahoy there shipmates, says he's always loved the way that Cunard's ships looked, keeping that classic ocean liner colour scheme. I agree, yeah, I totally agree with you there, shipmate. Ahoy there, John Morgan, says no passengers. Nope, no passengers on Queen Mary just yet. Queen Mary 2. And ahoy there, the cruise monkeys. Oh, someone else is asking a question. Oh, I think the cruise monkeys are asking a question about who the captain is. Jeez. Ty for one thinks the captain is Andrew Hall. The current captain's retired. You can see there's a variety of lifeboats. We've got a good view of them here on the Queen Mary 2. So those ones you can see, the big orange ones are lifeboats. The little orange one there is more of a maintenance tender. And then these lifeboats that are predominantly white with a little orange tops are the tenders for shore visits, when you can't get close enough into port or the island is very small, for instance. They'll take these tenders. Often when the cruise ships are in port at the moment, you can see them, little tenders running around between the various ships. I'm guessing they're shuttling crew between the various Cunard ships. Ahoy Superglass 47 says, give us a honk. I just don't think you're going to get a honk today, I'm afraid. Just don't feel it. Big Will says, yep, needs a refit in Hamburg. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely looking a touch rusty in places. And that's not my Rusty, my dog, either. Oh, there, Julie Wallace says the Disney Magic is not black, it's dark blue. That is right, it's dark blue. Actually, I don't think any of the ships are actually black. They're all very various shades of dark blue. Ahoy there, Elaine Urban asks, any idea why Iona seems to leave later than other ships? Well, I don't know. This is only... She left very late on her maiden voyage, 9 o'clock, and it seems to be 9 o'clock seems to be her current leaving time. I don't know if it's because of the size of Iona and perhaps time, making sure they've got plenty of time to get all the passengers on board. There are over 5,000 passenger, well, over 5,000 capacity. I'm not sure how many passengers will be on board, so perhaps that's part of it. Other than that, I don't know. Elizabeth Warren's asking, are those houses, offices or pubs at the end of the pier as QM2 passes? They are just, actually talking about the ones that are here right in front of us, and there are in fact offices, and there are no pubs there whatsoever. Used to be a pub right at the very end, which would have been with an excellent outside elevated terrace, which probably would have been the best pub in the world for cruise ship spotting, but unfortunately that closed down a while ago. It's called Around the World or something like that. Something to do with travel. Had to close down, unfortunately. Ahoy there, Trevor B says he thought the QM2 was classed as a liner rather than a ship. Yes, that's it's somewhat of a pedantic conversation, that I think QM2 is a cruise liner. The difference between a cruise liner and a cruise ship. Some say it's the ability to go transatlantic and to do with speed. Queen Mary 2 has a top speed of, if I remember correctly, very nearly 30 knots or 30 knots or thereabouts. Whereas most cruise ships only have a speed of somewhere in the region of 20 to 23 knots. So I think it's speed and the fact that she goes from port to port as a method of transport rather than port to port island hopping. Yes, top speed of Queen Mary 2 is 30 knots. So it's not a question. It's a question that gets asked a lot. I'm not trying to make a slight. If I refer to Queen Mary 2 as a cruise ship, I'm just referring to as a cruise ship rather than a container ship or a tug, something like that. I know some people get quite het up when I mistakenly call the ships different names. Ahoy there, Trevor Olsen. Many thanks for subscribing, shipmate. Welcome aboard, and hope you'll join the crew. Steve Skip, ahoy there, shipmate, says that Iona's been between 2,000 and 2,250 passengers. So yeah, it's about half capacity there. I've increasingly noticed the number of starlings flying around here in port. I've not seen them quite so much before. I'm not sure if that's a new thing or I'm just being more observant at the moment. Oh yeah, Helen Jones says she thinks QE2 is a liner, not a cruise ship. Yes, it is. I try not to get caught up too much in the liner cruise ship debate. So yes, Disney Magic off for a staycation cruise. Although I would have thought the staycation cruise would have meant staying somewhere rather than going on a cruise. I think the term slightly lost its meaning. Queen Mary 2 is getting close to the Sky Princess. And the Disney Magic is approaching Cowshot Spit. Disney Magic's just down there at Cowshot Spit. Some of the busiest days in port, you will get 10 cruise ships in, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do if we next year when we get a busy one with 10 cruise ships. I'll be live streaming for hours. Looks like a little chap there on his jet ski. Does look like he's obeying the speed limit though. It's decent of him. Well, shipmates, I think that about wraps it up. I'm going to carry on following Disney Magic and then the Queen Mary 2 once she pops out behind the Sky Princess. I think that about wraps it up for me for this evening. So many thanks for all new shipmates who have subscribed. Many thanks for being on board and tuning to the stream, of course. I'd like to thank all the people who have donated through the super chats, my Patreons, my PayPal donors, and of course the Blue Spanner crew who look after the chat on the live streams that are commentated and also the permanent live streams that we have here in the Port of Southampton. I'll carry on following the Queen Mary 2 as she goes down towards Calshot. Well, until next time, shipmates. Oh, that's Queen Elizabeth and Queen Mary 2 in the same shot there. Queen Elizabeth has just gone around... Sorry, the Disney Magic Queen Elizabeth has gone around Bramblebank, and that's where Disney Magic is just about to head to now.
Net lead VTS. All C, thank you.
BTS Fargo, good evening. We're shortly away from 37, making our way up to SCT5 for the departure of HMM Mir.
Okay, thank you. Roger 6, thank you. Queen Mary 2, SO5 outward bound will be clear channel. And the Princess Caroline's currently down at the Hound.
Yes, Eston.
Esther, hey Ben.
Good evening, shortly 37 up to the HMM.
That's all I say, thank you. Milo Explorer, VTS. Milo Explorer, VTS, always see you, thank you. Have a good watch, I'll see you next time.
BTS, the Queen Mary 2, hook out now. Main channel, please.
Queen Mary 2, VTS, that's always see you, thank you. Next boarding's East City Island 2040 at Helen.
2 stations at once, Red Osprey, hook boy in, thank you, and come in next station. Nothing heard.